Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Donna and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator from the Northern Rivers area in New South Wales, Australia. I'm bringing you a video today using the Merry Moose stamp set. I'm not going to use, it comes in a bundle, so you save 10% from Stampin' Up. I'm not going to use the punch today. I'm just going to use the star of the show here, this gorgeous tree. So I absolutely love trees when it comes to Christmas crafting. So what I've decided to do is I've got some Night of Navy. I'm going to use an embossing folder as well, so that's why that's there. I've got some gorgeous Night of Navy cardstock, and I'm just going to use my embossing buddy on here. And I'm going to use my Versamark ink with that beautiful tree. And I'm also going to use our new Shimmer White Stamping Embossing Powder. This embossing powder is gorgeous. It has silver glitter as well as white embossing powder. So it is absolutely stunning for your Christmas crafting. So what we're going to do is we're going to ink up our tree in our Versamark ink. And I'm going to stamp it down onto my Night of Navy cardstock and pressing it down, giving it time to soak into my Night of Navy cardstock. As you can see, it gives us a watermark ink image. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a scrap piece of paper and pop it under here, and we're going to shake our embossing powder on. Now, when you see this come out, it is so glittery and gorgeous, this embossing powder. So we're just going to shake that on. Now that's actually, if this is the first time you've seen embossing, that actually sticks to our embossed image. Okay, so we've got a gorgeous Christmas tree there. So I'm just going to shake that back into my container and pop the lid on. And we will heat emboss that and just watch that white appear. Now when I heat emboss, I always heat from underneath so that we don't blow all that embossing powder around. Plus it curls our cardstock under, so therefore when we go to glue onto our layers on our cardstock, it's curling down without the corners curling up. So there you have a gorgeous, glittery, shimmery tree. Okay, so now I've used my stitched rectangle shapes and I've cut out one that I've done already. So you may ask, what size was the rectangle that you used? What I do when I use my rectangle shapes is I just work out over the image what size I can use to cut out that image. So I've done that. Then I wanted to work out a gorgeous silver glittery layer. So I've used the next size up, and that has given me that beautiful, gorgeous layer there. So then I decided that I wanted to have a bit of a background of the Night of Navy. So I've used another one of our stitch rectangle. I think this is 2 sizes up again, so that I can layer that up on top of those. Okay, so I then have a Whisper White sheet of cardstock, and this is cut at 3 3/4 inches by 5.5 inches, and I've cut another layer of Night of Navy, which is cut at 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. Okay, so it's just a 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stamp the sentiment on here with our Night of Navy ink, and I'm going to stamp it down the bottom of this Whisper White layer, which it says, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. So I'm just going to stamp that right down the bottom of that layer. Like so. Okay, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And then what I wanted to do was to add a little bit of texture to my background. I wanted to bring in the gorgeous subtle embossing folder. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do now that I've stamped that, I'm actually going to bring in the Big Shot machine and I'm going to run that through with my embossing folder. And because it's one of our new embossing folders, I'm going to use the blue plate. So I'm just going to line that up in my Subtles embossing folder, like so. I'm going to pop it with the fold going through my Big Shot machine first, and just the base plate, nothing else. And my blue, no, sorry, I'm wrong. It's one of the thick ones, so I need just a clear plate. Just a clear. Now this is what you're going to have to do with our embossing folders. If you've bought them before June, when the new catalogue was released, then you would have the old ones, which this one is an old one. I was thinking it was a new one. But there you have a gorgeous, subtle, embossed look. And we've got our sentiment stamped down below. So, as I said, if you've got the older version, you just use a single plate. If you've got the new version, you will use the new blue embossing plate. So now we're going to bring that in and we're going to assemble those together. So I'm going to use some liquid Tombow to glue my Whisper White layer to my Night of Navy layer. So liquid Tombow, it allows you to have that wiggle room so you can get that nice tiny border all the way around. Okay, that looks perfect. Now, I'm also going to layer these pieces here like this. I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of this one, the tree. And mount that up onto my my silver glimmer paper layer. Now all of the items that I have used in this video today can be purchased through my online store, and if this is the first time that you have watched me on YouTube, in the show more box down below you will see a list of the supplies that I have used. So if there's anything that you would like to purchase and you live in Australia, you can purchase them through my online store. I'm also going to glue that directly down onto my Whisper White layer, and then I'm going to bring some of the gorgeous ribbon in before I pop that tree on. So I'm just going to layer that up in the middle and just eyeball it to where you think it looks good. Now we have our gorgeous silver edge ribbon, which goes perfectly with this, and I'm going to pop that into the middle. I'm going to grab some double-sided tape, so I'm going to trim that length off, and I'm going to flip it over and put some double-sided tape on here so I can glue the ends of my ribbon into that double-sided tape. That way you can serve a bit of your ribbon. There's no need to have it wrapped all the way around your layer. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to grab the backing off my double-sided tape. And then we're going to wrap that ribbon in the middle of that front layer. So just like that and like that. So all you do is wrap it around and stick it into your double-sided tape on the back. Okay, So we're going to bring in a Night of Navy base for our card. Now our Night of Navy base is cut at 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches, and we fold that in half. And that gives us a card front of 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. I'm going to use my bone folder to crease that nicely so it stays creased perfectly. Now I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to run that over the top of that double-sided tape. That then allows us to be able to wiggle this layer around and get it perfectly on our card. And as you will see when I glue this on, it's got the most minute, tiny layer on the front of that card. Okay, so you need to have that wiggle room to be able to do that. And then I'm going to, with some dimensionals, pop some dimensionals on the back of my tree. And we're going to pop that up on the front of our ribbon, on the front of our card. So just like so in the middle. Okay, and then we are going to grab our ribbon again, and we're going to tie a bow. So we're going to make a loop. We are then going to wrap that whole ribbon around, making sure that we don't twist our ribbon. And we're just going to create a loop and push that through. Then what you do is you rearrange your loop size, tighten the middle knot a little bit, rearrange the loop size again, tighten that middle a little bit, and when you get the loops exactly where you want them, you pull that tight and you pull the tails tight as well, and that allows your tails to hang down with your ribbon. Then we will trim that ribbon. Okay. Okay, and I'm just going to pop a bit of double-sided tape to pop that ribbon on. Oh, not that big. Okay, so a bit of double-sided tape, and I'm going to go over my ribbon and onto my cardstock. That then holds that ribbon in place as well across your card. And then we're just going to glue that bow into place. Okay, so there you have a gorgeous shimmery Night of Navy card using our Merry Moose stamp set. So as I said, all supplies to create this card will be down in the show more box down below. If this is the first time you've watched my YouTube channel, please feel free to subscribe and make sure you click the bell notification as well next to the subscribe button, so that way you get notified every time I create a wonderful card making video tutorial. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and until next time, bye for now. Happy crafting, everybody. Bye for now.